Oh, shit. I didn't know I was going to do this already. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of the madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. Ted Tonate was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think. That there's a darker influence at work. And one that lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's how I went to run to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I got more than a few personal stakes in it. Alright, now we're gonna get an anime cutscene.
Until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Well then. And we're already into a trial.
That escalated fast.
Wonder what's going on here. Time for another trial to begin. This one's different. Sorry to bother you, but oh, are you alright, Apollo? Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my cords of steel exercises. Now I'm ready to go. Oh, yes, knowing you, I'm sure you will be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. Is this a lotus root? Oh, that's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now. Oh my! Kinda tough though. You can't eat it raw, but thank you for the enthusiastic try. Oops. She didn't think me weird before she will now. I've got to calm down. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. 1 hour remaining until lunch, face. But what? What do you want to... Oh,
Until...
launch. Those two had a rough night last night. Hi, Fina. Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you. Fina, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure what out? Wow. That was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. Well, this is our client. One Mr. Solomon. Sol Starbuck. He's famous for Starbucks. he's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person.
Wonder where we've had that type of person before.
The scene of the crime this time happened to be Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. Well, that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We asked about space travel and he'd launched into story after story with so much passion. Hey, Dragon. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero.
Because I'm not working today.
You sure you'll work with being my lawyer, Apollo? Yeah, she doesn't work on weekends.
Not usually.
Yeah, well, I hope it stays that way. Of course, I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Well, thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now.
That's kind of hard with a rocket that's blown up.
Oh, he's so depressed. It almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I probably would never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Besides, you just have to go into space. Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran. I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Yeah, so you get it. He's size. Clay's gone, and I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you be fine. What is it? What's with the yelling? I'm getting the bottom of this today, you'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into the space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have a lot of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh.
No idea.
Well, we just started the trial in the start of this episode, so we have that.
We have only an autopsy report.
Well, about that.
It'll be fine.
We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I have liked, thanks to the police. So we go from yokai to crazy teachers and now an astronaut. Oh, you haven't seen the freaking... Oh, don't forget, we went from a robot, almost Robocop police, then a yokai, then a crazy teacher, and... Well, alright, yokai, crazy teacher, then the bombing, and then there's... I'm done for, I'm a goner. Everybody thinks I did it. Thought I was going to soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you got to keep me going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now.
The reason why I was late though is I was just making me a sandwich.
Are you all ready to go? Oh, Apollo. The trial's about to begin, and the defense will please proceed to the courtroom. Okay, here we go. And this is it. It's one trial I can't afford to lose.
Feels like we've done this before or something.
When?
Larry Butts.
Huh?
Larry Butts?
Oh, Larry Betts.
Butts.
Oh.
Listen.
I'm sorry, your accent has to freaking start saying butts with bets. For Clay's sake and our clients,
It
I will
did
find
not.
Clay's... December 16th, my god. We're near Christmas. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. What happened to your eye?
Does he really not remember?
I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a stay, whatever. Stay? What? Stay? Okay. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well. And the prosecution? What happened to his eye? You for the first trial, remember?
Remember he was in the courtroom when it blew up?
The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
That's when you're gonna break out of them already, are you? Not yet. Not quite ready yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Wow, he's starting this trial
Okay,
off
now
without
he's
the
done.
shackles. Ah! Oh, look, the fucking bombing
Okay,
case is
now
still
he's
there.
ready.
What the fuck?
It's okay, now he's ready.
The prosecution is now ready. Well, it didn't take him long to take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
I'll do it. You will?
Okay.
What
You'll
an unexpected surprise!
Be a big boy.
This
Oh,
time
he
I
went to
can't
be a
leave
big
it
boy today.
This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Are we dealing with aliens today? Oh no, we're dealing with something more interesting. Something is off with the two of you today.
Just
You
a little.
both seem different somehow. Seems like Paulo went edgy and Simon, I don't know what the fuck's up with you. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell, you open his statement if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology.
Astrology.
Astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rock was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site. Two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs? How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb in the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the HAT-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. We got a real space pioneer in court today. It's astrology that... Nubby, don't start.
Nubby, you stupid. Go back to school.
But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah, yes. The victim was one Mr. Clay Tarrant, a subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of a bombing? Well, correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so, he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, this is one more thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. Yeah, why is that here again? What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you asked so nicely. It's your coffin. Ah! No, mercy on me! I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, with little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time.
Just got jokes.
I feel like I just lost 50 years off of my life. Does he even have 50 years left?
Ow!
In a monologue, Athena. In a monologue. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright the name, in justice we trust! Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then, please explain the details of this incident to the court if you would. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet. Oh god, half the time I can't say this right. Pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Do I do a good Bobby Fulbright voice? Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross section that the police have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad of the square building and the rounded structure is the main building, right? You got it. The incidents took place in the launch pad number 1 and in the building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Oh, okay. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building and the one in Launch Pad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the bombing lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. A murder on top of a bombing? Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yep. Thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing. The defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo.
Dead.
Oh my. Is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that was cruelly ended this young man's dreams.
That's hard to believe.
We couldn't get any prints off of it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove all absent in this photo? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. Why the glove? Personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without facial fingerprints. Why does the man
Yes,
look
let's
like
just
he's
remove
from
the
Digimon?
dental records. Those don't matter anymore, I guess.
Yeah, Clay does look like he comes from Digimon. No, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. The capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. I see. So,
Well,
we know
that's
that
just
the
not
bomb
true.
in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launch Pad 1 located? That one was on the rocket itself. It's situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around Launch Pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record. The trial's just started and we're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? Why does the man look... Oh, shit. Yeah. What are the two astronauts were doing during the bombing? That'd be the key. Okay.
Ah! I see, I wasn't the only one who thought he was Ty from Digimon. Just with different hair.
How powerful were the explosions?
I believe that's the name I'm...
Well, the
Thank
one
you.
in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody's hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to the lead evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirably, decision justice, Dono. Huh? What did you decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like in the space center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the third floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on the emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked the people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. No, it's just that his eye hurts, that's all. The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So, there was 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right. Guess I'm just gonna have to press some more on these statements. Everything we can. Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives? Huh? Well, what are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
No shit.
Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood the defendant actually had astrophobia. Wait. Oh, hold on.
The fear of space.
Flipping cat. I know what it is, Timber. I'm letting my cat out.
Oh.
I know you want to be
I thought you were
smart.
struggling with the
No,
word.
I know you want to be a smarty pants.
I thought you were struggling with the word.
No, I've never struggled with words.
Bullshit!
A fear of space. A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently, he was who's taken him in secret to quell his fears. There are a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it, it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go as far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence.
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name. How now could he? No, not after the media had branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. What, so that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally. He constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the space center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. Ugh. Now, I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious crime. There we go.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was only the two of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only these two. Well, there could have been somebody else in that rocket.
Silence.
The notion of a third party in Launch Pad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are a precious few with a clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? Sounds as futuristic and complex as the Space Center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo.
They do realize that fingerprint scanners are easy to trick, right?
This is the door with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of a number of people that passed through that door yesterday? Yes, there were. Only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmo.
So there was 3 people.
Then
Fucking
doesn't that
dumbass.
mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bomb exploded at 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. Oh, he has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. Christ, we're getting shit going.
Hold it.
So, why it would appear the pair barely escaped with their lives? In actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it! In fact, that's why I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Terrain could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding the time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. I may continue my explanation. After the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. Okay.
Hold it.
And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and
She looks like a bitch.
And Detective Cadence Arm. Oh, one of them was a detective? Yep. Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, and so they hurried over to the bombing lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? One of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were at the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is true, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little could I get out of him only hurt my case. Justice Dono, foolish is a warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the 2 astronauts emerged from the bowels of the launch pad 1 corridor, the boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? What?
How do you know they're lifeless? I'm not seeing no knife.
Order! Order, I say! This lines up exactly with what the prosecutor has been asserting. Oh, I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage?
Exactly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor,
But remember, that container has nothing to do with the case.
Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to be one-eyed hothead and a dotard. And it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Albright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it. Ready, kid? If the
I
murder
like how he
occurred
doesn't even question the nickname. Like, ever. He just doesn't acknowledge
You just
it.
don't care. If the murder had occurred in the lounge, somebody could have spotted it. I think Rocky knows he's present. We already know he's here. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship? That's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is the man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based in your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could be still alive. Imagine this appearing in
The
T-Boy's
knife
position.
is in his chest!
Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. Why, it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well, Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just, there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't, the defense is stalling for time, as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Oh, yes! You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds? After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and the verdict to be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh! Ready? Oh, we don't have time. Spit it out, Fina. 183 more seconds! Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing. Like they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. Something they didn't explain. Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Shauna. Actually, there is. Also, it's half sunny here, but we didn't even have sun at all today again. We had for 2 days ago. Well, we had two sunny days on Thursday and Friday. That was it. There's something the prosecutor has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way. What is it the prosecution has failed to explain? Well, he's... Shit. I think he's...
Well, they kind of already explained
why the body was moved.
What the motive was to keep him out of space.
They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. The defendant wanted to kill the victim. Why didn't he just leave this body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thought on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Ah! Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here who before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Space Boy moved the victim. Uh-huh. You gotta be joking. Well, it's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it look like the security camera so they'd be recorded. Be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. Oh. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Jesus. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story to fit for a silver screen. Oh, indeed. I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see? Yet the true ending is that all traces of this hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion. Come again? What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin besides the witness stand? That would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of the most distasteful toy. Oh, look, it's all coming back. What? One on the second floor of the main building. One on the launch pad. And one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated. Or it had not. The victim's body and the other vital evidence would surely have been immortalized. Or whatever. God! It's like I'm just... Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it would still undergo forensic investigation, I do not have evidence on hand. However, no doubt a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? Rubble. I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder, so he fought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. No! Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. Jesus. Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence and the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it. You believe in your client come that what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Blackwell's controlling the entire game. Yeah, seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And ready to rub it in. He had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then, making your cross-examination Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you don't look very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terrain. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
I'm surprised you're still in it. It's not the weight of a suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepared to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow.
You don't want to do that.
That was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. Oh boy. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got to the order to evacuate. We didn't kill Clay. I didn't kill Clay, I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bomb or murder the victim? But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. You'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut. I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous. And you didn't have a rocket-looking hair. Or a cone. That courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. Yeah, like me, don't you worry.
No.
I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell as a second go? Huh? Oh, that was Blackwell sighing? Huh? That was Blackwell sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? I mean, if Mr. Starbuck was my client, I can't gun shy now. Time to find out the truth. Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
Objection!
Yeah, there's something going on there. Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in the launchpad 1. Also, recall that after the explosion, the middle elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What the fuck? What's with the helmet? Mission command! Mission command! Do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
What the fuck? This is mission command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. Ah! My helmet! Ah! What the fuck? Oh, she's dead! Oh, she got straight in the body temperature, declining, requesting medical assistance! Ah!
As he's forgetting he can breathe.
Are you fucking Buzz Lightyear? But Mr. Starbuck, we're not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. Oh, I apologise, John. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed like more of an astronaut now than we lost. Then he was doing all that sighing. I walked in at the perfect time. Hi, Taran. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistencies in your statement about how you used the middle level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Actually, I took a different route. I think. A different route?
You think?
I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind your accuracy is paramount in court. Okay. Let's see. My escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably. With a capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Taran here? Was the capsule that important that you had risked your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton. But securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Well, it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship.
Poor man is so goddamn broken.
Yeah. Well, let's see. My escape route. Right, yeah, right.
Thing is, I don't think it was him leaving.
Yeah, I get that feeling the roles were swapped.
Yeah. Why else would he not remember?
And the catch one claim my arms.
Because
I made my way down.
Clay was the one that was found with that container.
Objection!
God, Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No,
What?
that's not right. I guess the Earth isn't blue. Yeah, that's it. No, the sky's blue though. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. Oh, the oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Very much the oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached a boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was doing the... not as long as this was all along the escape route. The ladder.
Yeah.
To get down from the upper to the middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you wouldn't have to go down. You would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Oh, of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Taran over your shoulder, were you not? And I remember he was in full space gear as well. Pin him over 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what is on Earth.
Objection!
What?
But the space center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing the ladder with an adult male in space gear is one arm, while carrying the capsule in the other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh! So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms up full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now! God's sake. Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to my what the fuck? What the? He's flying the coop. Help, I'm caught on the ceiling. Help? Anyone? What in the hell? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once.
He just has that.
Well, that's one way to take off while we're being questioned. Or rather prove his innocence so we can go space again someday for real.
Sure that's safe for him?
Now then, Mrs. Starbuck, in fact, why did he have a fucking parachute? Do you think you could keep your feet planted to the ground?
emergency
Yes.
landings.
I apologize for
All
losing
of them are
control.
equipped.
Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not
Nope.
that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't Mr. Starbuck, I know. It appears Space Boy is prone to deception. Witness. Yikes! Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Ah! Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Please don't talk about that! What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Then I already stated that Space Boy is ironically terrified of going into space. That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. But you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It's found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it. How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. Well, I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened.
Wait.
What?
How would he know if that was a side effect?
2 bones, 2 hands, 2 head pats. Oh no. Order in the court! We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony keeps changing. Ugh, why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anyone to find out. He was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no compliments. Complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my! I see. And the defendant could climb down with his free hand. Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you're capable of quick thinking? Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks? Huh? What is this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am. For they fracture easily when struck.
Bullshit.
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and the shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence.
The spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made for the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection.
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suit works. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Yeah! Here, the report of the regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river's Styx. Ah! This report is pretty detailed. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the oxygen amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Right, don't turn into the freaking goddamn Space Corps from Portal 2. Jesus, Space Boy. Yes. Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? Well, that's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck. Oh, Prosecutor Blackwell got him for good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together! Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh? Yes, Apollo? You know Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. For Clay. You're wasting your breath. Rah! Oh God. Oh, he's happy now.
Somebody got his spirit back all of a sudden?
Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me on my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Run! You've ignited the booster rockets on my soul! I'm on fire, Jesus. I'm Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen to the universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Boulder Dash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody had to
Lift
do
off.
it.
What the fuck?
Whee! It would have been funny if he actually did go.
Wow, I felt like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. You simpletons are done massaging on one another's egos. No matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your boldness? Oh, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If only the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay were already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. But the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is we can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself.
You can't see who's in the suits!
Now, let's see about this data that was just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body on Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce. Your boldness, let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now, it seems that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining, while Mr. Tarand had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look at the detailed description and you will see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in the contradiction to. The
picture.
Yeah,
Because it said 50.
Yeah, yes.
Where's that 50% if it's 0 and 80?
How does the evidence how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here. Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Taran. Appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is a defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection.
It's going to let... I'm gonna bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining should increase, just as your rations don't increase. But the prices do. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of a mysteriously increase in oxygen? You better not disappoint, or I declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried Clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on this oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what should I be asking is not why did the oxygen level increase, but what have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. The victim was carrying the defendant.
Yeah.
What if it was the other way round? The other way round? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men and their helmets are on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Turan, but it was the other way round. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Turan at all. It was Mr. Turan who was helping Mr. Starbuck on the boarding lounge. It was what?
That's the only thing that would make sense.
Order, Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Turan? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And then the victim was found in the boarding lounge. His tank was at 0%. Oh,
He
that's
had to
right.
have been using it.
There's nothing contradictory at the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Tran was alive, so they had made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me. It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we've proven that Mr. Tran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims. And opens the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. There were two people who claimed to be first on the scene. But you can't can we really truly trust their statements? Well, let's see. Two people were Detective Cadence Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems what we have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score. Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in the court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand? What? Oh, hi. I have an announcement,
and it's
everyone.
this fucker again.
What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial. Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Load! And this is when case 1 happens. A bomb? Now? Oh, everybody run! I don't want to die! Oh no, everybody's panicking.
Silence.
Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves before or else. Come on, Apollos, get out of here! But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish?
I don't think that fucking matters at the moment if they're
I'm not
all
letting some
dead.
bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Apollo, Juniper, she hasn't evacuated yet. Ah! Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no, not that way. Oh, boy.
That's how he got caught in the blast.
No, this isn't another. This isn't another courthouse. This is when
This
case 1
is-
happens.
Before case 1. This is when that courtroom exploded.
Let's carry on. We've got time. Yeah. So that was. Yeah. So yeah. Case 4 was happening before case 1 started happening.
This is the very first one that happened.
In the middle of the
In a
Space Center
sequence.
bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Can you just say she was pointed? Fucking hell, the way it sounds like a fucking sexual thing. And Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. Well, it's gonna get solved, so we managed to clear Miss Woods' name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Ternate.
Again.
Apollo is a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy. Being attacked by Ternate like that on top of all things, of all of his other injuries. Apollo's resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. Never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating.
Because the original case...
Alright, enough of this, people! This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those tears, both of you. You're the only one who was crying, Athena. Technicalities, look, we have to work too. We have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what exactly? Apollo's Space Center case, of course. As no verdicts have been reached. There's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. Hello. Good. Now that's...
Hello.
Now that's settled. Let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. But wait. Right now? Now? Well, we better not be running the whole way. Oh, there she goes. I better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill up my magic panties for you. Trucy seems to be feeling a little better. You can always count on Athena to perk everybody with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back. Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. A wallet, phone, the documents, my bag. Sounds like
Where
more
you're
you forgot
fucking
everything.
going.
I can always count on Athena for that too. Alright, you two. Let's be careful out there. The panties, the recurring character. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him. That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a lot about him. I'm all excited to meet the man. Oh, he's back to being this again. Jesus.
And he's back to being depressed.
Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright, Apollo's mentor, right? Hey, Walrus. Yes, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I have got you covered. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Oh no, here comes my cat. Yes, Mamos, what do you want? Yes,
She wants her
Mamos.
cameo.
You want cuddles, don't you? You want cuddles, don't you? Sorry for not being
Almost
active, but,
demands
you
the
know,
attention.
That's fine, Walrus. What do you want, Mo? What do you want? You
Almost wanted her fame.
You came in meowing like you own the place. What? No, you can't have money. No. Huh? You mean other than that at your trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I mean, I'm strong. Oh my god. Astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing that you said about entering the stratosphere? That just means we shine like shooting stars, right? Like shooting stars, huh? You know? You're right. I know nothing of that. After all, that's where we're all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond.
Swimming.
Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? Yeah, it's easy. So, you have no memory at all of the incident?
And back to this.
I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as a dark nebula. Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Daylight savings are going to change as soon as this month ends. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial? Mo! Did you stop headbutting me? You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took medication, I swear. It is true, I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then. My anxiety got when my anxiety got bad. I think a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know. Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle. It must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take any drugs that might impede my performance just before a launch. Mars wants attention. Yeah, she always flipping does. What's with the purge, Mo? I haven't done anything.
Because she knows she's interrupting.
That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a complete different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know. The tranquilizers were found in your system.
Trank?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I don't know why I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe somebody slipped them to you? Well, exactly, that's what I thought. It must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it. Maybe the real culprit also planted a detonator switch in your pocket. Yeah, that's gotta be it. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small. Like about the murder weapon, for example. That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits? Yeah, staff who work on the machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? Well, that's right. Mo, could you put your paw off my nose? Mo, Jesus Christ, cat. Can you just loaf at least?
No, you have to pay attention to her.
That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. Mo!
Like, how dare you?
It. Jesus. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, loose control column. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought I was a goner. But I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer. Oh, no wonder they doubted with the... No wonder they dubbed it the Hat 1 miracle. It's a miracle you made it back. Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. But the vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. The darkness just goes on and on forever. And ever. And ever. Without end.
He's a cherry, man.
There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone. With nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. An experience like that would make anybody afraid to go up into space. With the experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission? Oh, what? No way. Of course not. Even now I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I want to shake off the Earth's gravity and escape velocity and spin around weightless. But you have to admit it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid? Oh, I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is a man's final frontier. An unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, huh? Guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I am sure I can manage. If I give it to my fear, I never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. Oh, you do? I only got the one. I had us for a very long time, and I doubt she's old because she still does her zoomies. Don't you little furball! Just winks at me. The victim, Clay Turan, he was kind of your protege, wasn't he? Well, it wasn't a big exaggerated deal like Master and Apprentice or anything like that. But Clay did think of me as his mentor. A mentor and a protege. What a combination they must have had been. With this encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now... Clay must have been a very encouraging, huh? Yeah, it's funny, really. Whenever I hear him shout, "You're fine," I've always got the feeling everything really was going to be just fine. You're fine. Apollo says I'm fine, and you're fine all the time, too. I always feel encouraged, too, whenever I hear him shout it. Yeah,
Probably where
Clay
he
and
got
Apollo
it
were
from.
best buds. They used to come visit the Space Center a lot, ever since they were high school kids. One day, out of the blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around in Space Center so much they're like a part of the staff. One time during Zero-G training, I started to panic a little bit. And the two of them took turns shouting, "You're fine," over the radio. It was a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So, I'm fine and you're fine were like Apollo Clay's secret phases, huh? I wish I could ask Apollo more about Clay about their relationship now. Speaking of Clay, how do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder? Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. But that prosecutor said that the dark night sky isn't half bad through barred windows. You're fine! Solomon Starbuck is fine! Everything's gonna be alright! Huh? And Athena Sykes is fine! Come on, Mr. Wright, you too! Do I really have to? Phoenix Wright is fine. I can't hear you! Phoenix Wright is fine. We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck. Believe in your own innocence, and have faith in us. Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly, and that's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Where does he get that clipboard from? His
I'm pretty sure
pocket.
that's more of a
Wait.
tablet, like an actual fucking...
Rhino, what the fuck are you doing in chat? Where the hell are you? Thank you, both of you. I put faith in you, and I vowed to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. Sure feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then, now that we're all fine. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's get our investigation of the Space Center started. Pronto. A good idea. Let's go. All right, let's see what this Space Center is all about. Ah! Alien! Wow, I was wondering what kind of place this Space Center would be. It almost looks like an amusement park of the future. Yeah, did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look how brightly the oh god. Gaiaxa, okay, I guess it's that way. Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and the rocket motif. It's got going. It's like the motif it's got going. Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Just had things sorted out this evening. Jaws and the like, you know. Oh, okay. Do you know one of my cats likes to lay on my computer keyboard? It sometimes triggers me. Yeah, it sounds like Mummo sometimes.
Yeah, she's interrupted before.
Yeah, she always does. Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, why is the Gaia supposed to stand for galaxy? If it were it, then the whole thing would be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have abbreviated to Gaxa. Gax or Gia? I guess so. Oh, I know. Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y. This exchange is beginning to feel oddly like deja vu. Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility. It's a tourist attraction. Tourist attraction? Don't make me laugh. It's a memento of the human race. Galactic scooter full speed ahead. Oh, I know who this guy is.
Oh, Lord.
Yikes, who's this geezer and
Space pirate.
Look upon me and you and well, behold the great power of space science. Pardon me, but you are... Look at my stars, they are the superstars from Mario. My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center and the center of the cosmos. Boss,
Anybody else
that was
a
pretty
woman?
groan-inducing. Epic general on a scooter. If this person is
space
the
pirate.
Space Center's director, then that means... so you're the one of the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you? Yes, almost ran him over. And who was the first person to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Cadence Arm. That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all space in time to discover the body. But let's talk of the incident. Are you by any chance the space police? You can't tack the word space onto any old thing, you know. Well, we're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We're here to help investigate the case. Oh, and we're Earth lawyers, by the way. Ah, I see. Yes, I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. I trust and appropriately grateful. Now go ahead, have at it. I can already tell he's going to be nothing but trouble. Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll just see what trouble he really is. Let's just be professional and ask him about when he found the body, okay? So, as director, what do you here at the Space Center specifically? Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space developments in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going for the sake of mankind. I believe I used the word specifically in my question. Attention all personnel, take to your break stations. Prepare for break. Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important manner. That is exactly right, because I am important man. My manner is important. So we go from demon lawyers to Earth space lawyers. Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm. Well, there's bound to be some people like that here in the boundless of space. What's that? You want to know what is to make me important specifically? Very well, I'll tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat 1 project. You may proceed to appropriately impressed. Now, go ahead, have at it. I might be more impressed if I knew what he did for it specifically. Could you tell us what you know about the incidents from the other day? I refuse. What? Explaining is a job for the common folk, not the director of the center of the cosmos. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom. What? So that means you'll be taking the stand tomorrow? That is correct. I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind.
Yeah, please
I'm
say
not
so,
sure
man.
if he really understands what being a witness is all about. Looks like Director Cosmos is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about. Then let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open about. The Hat 1 was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home. I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folk like you. Very well, I'll invite into you to complete story of the Hat One project. Oh, thank you very much. Hat's one noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid, and Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat One reached its planned orbit, from where it launched in the Hope probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the Hope probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat One returned safely to Earth. That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat One miracle occurred. That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat One miracle occurred, right? Correct. And it was truly a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie. And as for Hope Probe, it definitely eventually arrived safely at its destination. It obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth about a few days ago. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Taran's murder. Regrettably, we had no time to inspect the samples due to everything that had occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of centuries by several years. Well, that's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't just a loudmouth braggart after all. In the golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. This is the greatest achievement in the history of this space center. This public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential. A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big. Our endeavors with the moon rock lives on in our work with those asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hopes and dreams for the future upon mankind once again. That is my mission, as a man who stands at the center of the cosmos. I hear there's a lot of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say that the results could potentially have a huge impact on all of his civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there. What? Bite your tongue! It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It's all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for the illustration's mission. Now, the recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it. I guess even the space program has to watch its budget. But by the way, you seem awfully knowledgeable about this kind of stuff, Athena. Huh? Oh, well, you know, I thought I'd better brush up for the case. Is that so? Well, I will be on my way. As you can see, I'm very busy. A very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine, main battle speed, and engage! That thing is surprisingly fast. Yes, it'd be funny if you fell off it. I guess we'd better get going too. You bet. Let's make it so. What the fuck? There's an alien seahorse. This is where Mr. Tennant was murdered. Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see that diagram the police made again. Right now, we're in the main building here on the right side on the 3rd floor. Claim Mr. Starbuck fled here from the launch pad one after the explosion. You there, no admittance without express permission. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We come to investigate. Sorry, nobody gets here without permission. Not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me. So Detective Fulbright is here, huh? Yeah, he's in the launch pad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him and then we'll talk. Well, leave it to me. I'm great at getting intel out of Detective Fulbright. Let's see.
You shouldn't be bragging about that.
Now, what trick should I use on him today? I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid. So, to get to Launchpad 1 corridor, we just had to go through that door with the blue rocket on it, I think. Wait, that door... It looks awfully familiar. Good eye there, boss. This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad. Oh, that explains it. The fingerprint system has been deactivated, so I think we can't just pass through. Now, come on, let's go. Oh, okay. There's a robot with a Hoover.
Yep.
So, this is it, huh? This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape. Yeah, this is the only thing connecting Launchpad 1 with the main building. I see place tape down at the other end. Guess we won't be looking at the launch pad. After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke. And the launch pad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them. You know of the game Stray? Remind me of... Oh, does it? Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Yeah, I think that's him over there. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? He seems to be lost. That's funny. This is the corridor of is a straight shot. Huh? Ah! It's you, lawyer people! Welcome to the Space Center! Enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing? We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share? Boss, if he acts all reluctant to give us information, we're hitting with the whatever shall we do act, and you feel for it. Got it? Are we trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something? Info on the case, huh? Alright, I'll gladly share some with you. To be honest, I used to have a very fast hoverboard in my life, but I fell off it. But I got used to it after a few tries. Wait, there was a hoverboard? Wow, we are in the future. Oh, what just happened? Detectives and lawyers seeking the truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me. You info bandits. I'm in a generous mood today. I don't know. There's something weird about Detective Fulbright today. Well, we need information, so let's just run with it. If you say so. Detective Fulbright, could you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? There's an officer on guard and we can't get in. Oh, whatever shall we do? Well, that's an easy one. I'll let them know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if you need it. A month even. Shall I even have snacks delivered? One of my men's gives me neck rub. No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Detective Fulbright is acting sickeningly sweet. Kind of gross, actually. Do you think he hit his head or something? Well, who knows? Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier. You were here at the Space Center at the time of the incident, weren't you, Detective? Well, that's right. I was here on a security assignment. The police are required to secure rocket launches now? I didn't know that. Yes, well, you know us, to serve and protect. The explosions occurred while I was here on duty. So I started then leading the evacuation. He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened? Of course. A bomb went off on the second floor in the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launchpad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and employees to evacuate to the shelter. The shelter? Well, that's right. There's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center. It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like. Oh, so where were you when the first bomb went off? I was on duty on the fourth floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion. And the stairs on the second floor were destroyed. So we couldn't go that way. Then wasn't it possible to go down to the basement shelter? No, we lowered an emergency ladder from the fourth floor window and escaped that way. It was a folding ladder, so it wasn't very stable. But at least it reached the ground. And after I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down and headed to the shelter. Wow, what an ordeal. But climbing down an emergency ladder kind of sounds fun. Well, thank you for your answers, Detective. They were very helpful. But just a moment, I have some more information to share with you. But don't tell Prosecutor Blackwell, okay? Wait, what? Wow, Prosecutor Blackwell usually has you on the short leash too. Well, never mind that. I thought you should know that there was a witness. What? Jesus, why is he giving us all this shit? Could you tell us more about this witness? Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the fourth floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through a window into the third floor lounge. So she was looking into the crime scene from the outside? Well, that's right. It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know what she saw exactly yet, though. You don't? But that's the most important thing of all. Don't you worry. I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She should be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her. A fourth floor employee? Huh. Alright. Thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Gee, you sure are being cooperative, Detective. A little too cooperative, even. Yes, well, actually, something you can't talk about? Oh, yes, something like that. Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about me. Well, I'll be on my way now. What was that all about? Something's definitely going on. I want to get it out of him for the next time I see him. Okay. I'm not sure who you'd talk about it, though. Well, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge.
Yes.
Ah, you two. Detective Fulbright has granted you permission to investigate. He also said that I should bring you some snacks or give you a neck rub too, if you'd like. Oh, that's alright, but thank you for the offer. Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. Now let's see. Where's that diagram again? So, this lounge is on the third floor of the main building. According to Apollo, this is where he believes a third party killed his friend. Well, let's stop to recap and start looking for traces of this third person then. You read my mind, Athena. We'll make that our first priority. There's just one problem though. This room. It's just so big. Well, don't worry. We can use this to help us. A Space Center pamphlet? For tourists? Yep, picked up at the entrance. Map inside should come in handy. Let's see. Yep, here it is, a map of the lounge. This is the door he went through to talk to Detective Fulbright. Oh yeah, that door's with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Yeah, no more excuses. Let's track down the third person. Wait, there's just one more thing. What's that strange creature moving around outside the window? Oh, boss, it's just a holographic image. Oh, yeah, I knew that. Oh, that's a relief. There should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's why it says in the pamphlet, anyway. The only reason you're so eager to start is that you can push that button, isn't it? And what's wrong with that? Let's just looking for the button while we're looking for clues. Alright, fine. Let's get investigating. Wow, she wants to press buttons. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is torture device. But I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Athena has an odd glint in her eye. She's thinking about trying that out. I should try to stop her, but I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me. Hey, Mr. Wright, look up there! Some kind of fragment? Stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what what the glint was all about. That color looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank. I think you're right. But if that's here, it means Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge. So Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay down the ladder must be wrong. This proves that both of the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge. So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder wasn't the launch pad. Way to go, Apollo. Oh, well, that clears that up.
I didn't even notice that.
Okay, let's see this. So this is where they discovered Clay.
That's kind of a weird place.
Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. When they found him. Let's take a look at the photo. So he was stretched out like this and... Huh. Was that thing that looks like a thermos? Thermos? Thermos. That's the thing that Prosecutor Blackwell mentioned when I was in court with Apollo. He said that it contains asteroid samples. Oh, right. Director Cosmos mentioned something like that too, didn't he? The 3D in this is really... Yeah, it really... Especially when you play this on the 3DS, everything pops out. They were really brought back only 5 days ago by the probe that a Hat 1 launched. I wonder what they look like. Do you think they let us see? Well, let's think about that after we solve the case, okay? It has cookies!
The space cookies.
Oh, I wonder what this
Dan's
is.
like, nah, you don't need samples of everything. We'll just give you cookies.
So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room. Well, let's check. Drumroll, please. Ta-da! The Space Center pamphlet. Oh, at least it's a control room, it seems. We're here at this place that says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy. People really usually say west, east, and south in a case like this, you know. Details. Anyway, take a look at the west door. That door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here on the map, Launchpad 1 corridor. So that's where we're with the detective. So that's where we were with the detective. It was filled with smoke after the explosion. Fucking hell. Fucking cat's fur everywhere. Right, next up. The right hand of the map, or east in your world. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room. Yep, it definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side. They communicate and exchange information with rocket and probes in the space from there. So it's the center of the space center. The space center, if you will. Does everybody start to talk like Director Cosmos after they've been here for a while? But it seems they built a new command center on the 6th floor. That's where they used for Hat 2 missions on this side. This control room was empty at the time. I've always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room, and since we're here, I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we're able to. They want to keep curious kids like you out. So the door is protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through. With that much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking to keep out, Athena. So apparently the lock is also hooked up to the backup generator in this case of emergencies. Okay, what about that last door? Oh, this lower door. Oh, excuse me, I mean south door. It leads to the elevators. Thought it was a toilet for humans and robots. This is the door we came through when we entered this room, right? Yep, and of course, there was no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to anyone. But the elevator weren't working at the time due to the explosion. Well, that's about it for the three musketeers of the boarding lounge. Thanks. Understanding the layout of this lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we'd better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. Okay. What's this then?
The space jumpies.
There's another amazing piece of equipment. Walk on the surface of the moon, it says. Oh boy, I want to try it. Gravity is weak on the moon, so I bet it could do a mid-Mars somersault. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling. Well, at least I could jump really high. There's a sign on the wall that clearly says don't jump too high. And what good is this thing? Didn't I say in the beginning we'll walk on the surface of the moon?
The boot print. In the corner.
Yeah. Oh wait, it's not letting me do it.
Oh, maybe later then.
Oh, what the hell was that? Hey, I see something shiny down there. Let's take this cover off then. A bullet! What's this? It looks like a metal jelly bean. It's really small, but it's a bullet. It's only about 2 or 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see, that would make the caliber 10? Caliber refers to the diameter of the gun's barrel, right? Yes, but I've never heard of a .10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be...
That's because it's a...
This bullet must be...
handgun.
This bullet must be a... Handguns take .45, don't they?
Not all of them.
Oh, well, I don't know. This bullet must be special kind of gun.
That one's a police... That one would be police
I bet if you
issued.
tried firing a bullet this small with a regular sized gun, it would just fall right out. Yeah, it must be a really small gun.
Yeah, that's why you're not supposed to put ammo that doesn't belong in the gun.
I wonder...
In the gun.
I wonder...
It has the potential to explode in your face.
Put a sniper bullet in a pistol. I wonder how the bullet ended up here.
It'd explode in your face.
I mean, we're in the bottom left on the south door of the room, according to this map. I mean, I suppose if there are guns that you can have 2 different bullet types. That's pretty far from where Clay's body was. Maybe
yeah,
the
those are
police
specially
didn't
made, though.
think to look here. Why are you giving out such a cute voice?
Because I'm looking down.
You're a fuzzball.
Excuse me? What the fuck does that matter?
Has every matter. Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. Alright.
You're just not going to take that with you? Okay, that makes sense.
What's this? A trapdoor? It's a trash chute. The cleaning robots throw the garbage out from here. The robots do the cleaning? What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope they don't revolt like they do in the science fiction movies. No way, all robots here on the night are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? We could go say hi to it if you want. If you allow us to fucking examine it.
How does she remember this?
Yeah, that's a question.
How does she know this? The plot thickens.
Okay. Let's see. So this is the fingerprint recognition device. I guess you put your hand on this hand mark. Why guess when you can try? Now to line up my hand with the outline. Don't Athena, this thing is related to the case. Get your prints all over that, and the next thing you know, you'll be named a suspect. Oh, how can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? I'm not buying those tears, Missy.
Like, you're a fully grown woman.
It don't matter what age you are. You can cry and be a kid still. And let's see.
Yeah.
This door is... Where's that pamphlet? Here we are. It's the door to the corridor that leads to the Launchpad 1. We went through it earlier when we want to talk to Detective Fulbright. So I guess the security lock must be disengaged now, right? They say the corridor was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing beside the door, this must be the fingerprint recognition device. This reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackwell talked about it at the trial. The notion of the third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the room area of the lounge, one must pass through the door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. Allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so.
The thing is,
Then does this mean that
there's
the
gonna have
bombers
to be an
prints
extra
were
person
verified
in
by
that
the
room.
system? But the number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small. Voila! Fingerprint powder! I bought it just in case something like this came up. I found it at the office. I've been itching for a chance to use it. Whoa! Wow, way to think ahead. Now let's just dust the fingerprint recognition device and see what we can find. You got it now. Yeah, you got it now. Just sprinkle some here and go over there and. Whew. Oh, we don't get to do it. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we got something. Oh, it's only a single set of prints. Isn't that a good thing?
It makes things a lot simpler.
Sure, wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Although I doubt we'd be so lucky as to get the culprit's prints on the first try. Damn. Where's that?
Ow.
Where's that science girl when we need her?
Yeah.
Hold
It's
on.
like Phoenix completely forgot about her. You'd think he'd have her in a contacts and be like, yeah, I need your help with
Although I
sciencey
doubt
stuff.
we'd be lucky
Poof,
to
she
see
appears.
the culprit's prints on the first try. Imagine having no right hand and trying to use that handprint recognition device. Yeah, you're fucked. Well, I'm willing to bet that Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data. Right, and there's the security footage of this door too. Yes, here it is. It came up in court the other day. I wish we could see the part of the footage just after this bit, but it's a static image, so this shit. Oh, because that would be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Well, let's ask the detective. With the mood he's in, he'd probably show it to us right away. Yeah, he's in almost too good of a mood today. Let's go see if we can find him again once we're done with this room. Okay.
I just realized something weird about that image.
Wait, hold on.
Why did it say 2 if that was Launchpad 1?
Fuck.
Right behind the air
Oh yeah,
tank.
it does.
That's gonna be a 2.
How random.
That's supposed to be Launchpad 1, ain't it? Yeah. There's no reason why there'd be a 2 if they were from Launchpad 1.
What's this for, anyway? I wonder what this big knob is for. God. and it's coming from a girl as well. This is kind of frightening. I wonder what this big knob is for. I'm kind of turned on now. Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities end. I mean, it's behind a glass pane. What kind of stove would require knob security like this? Well, the knob is straight up and down. Oh, stop talking like that! So if it was a stove, the burner would be off. Right. If it was for a stove. Still, I wonder what it's really for. Something turned on by a knob that's not a stove? How about a rocket engine? If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you could get in. Then I guess what we can say for now is that it's a mystery knob. It's a knob. It's a knobhead. That's what it is. It's fucking... It's a dick. Alright.
Are there other angles? Oh, yep. Little sleeping pods. There's the thing in the table.
These are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovery after a training session. I wonder if they can change your voice. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Huh, it didn't do anything. It's not a helium, Athena, it's oxygen. Oh, a mirror. How thoughtful of them to put one here. Thoughtful? So the ladies can fix their makeup. One's appearance is just as important in space as it is on Earth, you know. You never know when you're going to run into some other life form after all. I doubt anybody who thinks like that would ever become an astronaut in the first place. Oh my god.
What's in the table?
What the fuck is this? So you suck off.
Looks like
That's
a
some
fucking
pretty futuristic
vape.
looking... yeah, it looks like there's some vape shit I've seen on Sims 4.
Looks like
There's
a
some
weird
pretty
ass
futuristic
bong.
looking furniture over there. According to the pamphlet, those are no ordinary chairs. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You can power them by yourself, it says. If you spin the table, your chairs spin too. Why would anyone want to have something like that here? It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and the body. Can a person really call themselves an astronaut if they can't handle 0G? Let's see. What's this? There's some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it. Just push it! That's the invertible principle of buttons! There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Oh, turns that off. Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared! Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren about it now. Still, let's see if we can find out anything new with the image of... Okay. Nothing. Oh, hello! Oh, there's a cobweb then.
That would make sense with the bullet.
Oh, it was a fucking cobweb.
But nope.
Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this. It looks like a bullet hole. Where'd you find Athena? It's pretty big. Whoever fired this shot it's Spider-Man. He did it. It must have been he used a pretty large gun. You think so? Well, based on my experience, I'd say this is fired from a regular pistol. Well, whatever size it was, somebody fired a gun in here, right? Or apparently. This is the important fact. Do you see a bullet around here somewhere? No? The police must have taken it, though. What? Yeah, We got that right
maybe
there.
now you're for some reason. Maybe now you're supposed to find the bullet.
Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later. Oh, hello.
Never mind.
Welcome to Space Center guests. Welcome. Yikes! What in the world? My name is Ponko.
I like how they gave the
Ponco. Ponko. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you. It's a robot.
I like how they gave the robot tits.
I am Ponko. Psychological observation and navigation companion. Ponco. Ponko. No, it's Ponky. Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
No, that's not Ponky.
Oh, Ponko, I've missed you. Huh? Do you know this thing, Athena? Oh, she showed us around the last time when I came here with Apollo. Oh, you're such a good girl, Ponko. That's a good girl. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. So very happy. Wow, a guy robot. That's pretty cool. My name is Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you. I don't know you. I don't know you. Huh? Ouch, that hurt. Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Please register him, Ponko. Certainly. Commencing guest registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine too. His name is Phoenix. I'm a bit over familiar, but I'll allow it. Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face. Oh, sure. I'd fucking love to see this as anime. I want to see how it worked. Registering. Facial recognition registering sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix. Huh.
I still like how they gave the robot tits.
You made a friend, boss. Isn't that great? Fanny. Oh, wait. Somebody. Notice how the face lights when different colors, depending on the emotions. Yeah. Kind of like widget. Phoenix.
It's like we've seen something like that before.
Allow me to guide you. Right this way. Oh, goody. Let's go, boss. You go where? Good grief. Oh wow, what is this place? Is that rocket real? Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Learn about the history of our nation's space development and the Hat 1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one. The Space Museum. Oh.
Wrong one.
The Space Museum. Oh, here it is on the map. Okay. So it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from the launch pad one. Even Christmas? Yeah. Fuck your family. Fuck Thanksgiving. Fuck Valentine's Day. You're working with us Space Marines. Ask me anything. Anything I will explain. And New Year's Day when everyone is hungover, still drunk. This is quite the place. I can't even believe we'll get to see a rocket this close up. This is a replica of the Hat 1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat 1 inside and out. Its little brother, the Hat 2, was supposed to launch the other day. I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch was cancelled. Over there is an exhibit about the launched 7 years ago. Check it out! Check it out! Spacesuits, photos, newspaper articles. I'd like to come here again on a day off. Hey, what's this photo of? Who are those two? Phoenix! Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat 1 project. Oh, look at Ponky all bandaged up.
I know.
Hey, there's Mr. Starbuck. Looks so young and so different. Ah, and that's... what is it, Fina? Something wrong? Oh, nothing. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young too, that's all. Well, it was 7 years ago after all. So the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Turan, the victim. So they were mentor on Project A even way back then. And he's even got one of the staff jackets. He looks like just like a regular staff member. No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of the Solomon's old jackets. Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Clay would have been in high school 7 years ago. Everybody looks so happy. This space museum is great. What a fantastic exhibit. This area used to be Launchpad 2. Oh, there we fucking go. That's why the only entrance is on the third floor. Why wouldn't it be if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead? There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Budget cuts, we need more money! Money! Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot? While it was in space, the Hat One launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago. That's what Director Cosmos said too. He told us it came back the day before Clay was killed. And here it is, the Hope space probe. I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh yeah, this capsule that victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe I should give me some more info if I show it to her. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. The way the Space Center launch pad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you? The setup for the launch pad? Go gentle on my spiky head, mate, mind. I want to know. I want to know. Phoenix wants to know too. Great. Now Athena's got a case of ponkitis.
Ponkoitis.
Ponkoitis. Hooray, I'll tell you then. The rocket is built right inside the launch pad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the launch pad over the rails and brought into position at the launch pad's launch site. Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big we used to have a big budget. That's how we could build it. Now we turn into a like Activision or EA now. Now we're losing all budgets and we're fucked. It's very cool. My grand set up that suits an important place like a space center. I guess everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year, myself included. I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh? Well, that it is, but it can also be operated from the new command center too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be first disengaged. I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I'd like to see the launch pad being moved. When's the next one scheduled for? Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold. Because of the bombing and the murder, I bet. Which is perfectly understandable. Well, when was the last time it was moved? Searching data. I'm sorry. The answer is in my answer database. I guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. Ponko, do you recognize this capsule here in the top right? Check-in registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe. It contained the asteroid samples, right? Yes, it was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in the launch pad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed. It must not be removed. Well, don't worry, Ponko. The people in the charge already know what happened. They do? They do? I must ask them later. So the capsule was being kept in launch pad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion. The Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. It's a pity this incident occurred before they got the chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they have to wait a little longer. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well. I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you. You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. Well, it's because Ponko is so friendly. Well, what should we investigate next? Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have to ask things to him about. Oh, let's see. The security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Okay, let's head back to this launch pad 1 then. Corridor. Bye, Ponko. See you later. Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop. Poor Ponko. What a Dickinson life we are forced to lead. Poor Ponko.
Yeah.
Just like poor Ponky.
Yeah.
Right. Launch pad corridor. Let's go. What should I do? This path is the path of justice. He's still on this again. There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost, even though it's a straight corridor. Well, let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well then. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. You mean that lady in distress bit? We found a bullet hole in the wall at the crime scene. You did? Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who fired that bullet. Detective Arm? Well, that's right. A warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high threat situation that she needed to do that? I'm afraid I don't know the details. What with the Detective Arm gone and all. But I thought there were 2 people who discovered the crime scene together. Already know Director Cosmos was testifying, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. I hope it goes down easy. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. Oh yes, I just happen to have compiled the print data for everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it as a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Well, when I said everyone, I meant it.
Laying around.
Prosecutor Blackwell said to dig deep, so that's what I did. It sure took a while though. Wow, he got Apollo's and my... Wow, he got Apollo's and my prints. He even got the prints of all the other robots. I guess when Blackwell said to...
fingerprints?
I guess when Blackwell said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Oh, Clay's fingerprints are here too. A person removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. I still can't believe you took off his gloves to get his fingerprints. I'm back at the... Yeah, ramen noodles. Oh, don't start talking about noodles. Oh no, I'm hungry now.
Squiggly noodles.
I'm hungry now.
Got it.
I want some noodles.
Later.
Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. So, depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. That makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. Oh, and take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep. but the prosecutor Blackwell seemed really interested in it for some reason. Huh? What's so important about this door? Well, beats me. But boy, could you see the gears in his head go to hyperdrive at it? Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about the print comparison, boss. Right, Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run a test for us right now? You just leave it to me. In justice we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door. He must have opened it when they went to board the rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams in this space adventure right then. Okay. Oh god, hold on. Let's show him this. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the boarding lounge one camera. Oh, that footage? Now go ahead, ask me about anything you liked about it. Is there any way I could see a little bit more of the part just after this? Easy as pie. I'll be glad to show you. Here we go. Huh? The screen went black. Yes. Apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires. So there's no footage at this point after this point. Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Oh well.
Because that's not as fun as fucking with you.
Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative. Well, I just figured if we work together, we'd get that much closer to justice, right? But it seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. Oh. Oh, shit!
Busted!
We got Cyclops. It's been a while, but those are definitely Cyclops. Did you just mouth psyched? Is there something I should be psyched about? No.
Sure.
Psychlock. It's a system of locks on the secrets in the person's heart. We really talk about this to him. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this Magatama. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secret they're hiding. Mr. Wright, how did they bilk you out of that piece of rock? If you've been swindled, I know some lawyers can introduce you to. I am more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. Isn't it some kind of a fraud? It really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. Let's see, what presenting the Magatama will reveal, shall we? Wow. That's freaking nuts, seeing all this again. Let's see, what's going on here? I think you're hiding something, Detective. So why don't you just tell us about it? What to do? Which is the path of justice? Detective Fulbright is really in agony. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Life. Yeah, it would be as well.
Love.
Let's see what he has with that. I better know what's been bothering you. You're troubled by love. What? How did you know? I put my pet carb live in with my goldfish, and next thing I knew, oh, the little goldfish was gone. I love eating them all, leaving them all. My poor little goldfishies. I loved you so. I guess love really can cause a lot of heartache, huh? Probably. Got a trophy for that as well.
I didn't even notice.
I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective. I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles, isn't that right? No, I don't know what you're talking about. until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine. Is that a fact? Yep, peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. You never saw a more relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch. I don't think the guard detail was relaxed as you claim as this exists. The evacuation report, where is that? Let's see.
Yeah.
The bottom off despite tight security, police officers and Riot who would have been standing by.
And Riot, please.
Yeah. Before the explosion, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. I hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail.
Busted!
Now hold on just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be part of that detail from the outset. And that would be Cadence Arms.
Yeah.
Detective
Including she was bomb detection, right?
Yeah. Detective Arms specialized in bomb cases. The fact that she was here on hand means that you people knew that there was a possibility that a bombing would occur. No, you got me, Mr. Wright! Well, that was fucking easy.
It's Bright.
He's not very bright, is he?
No. Oh god, I just got, like, your SCP Foundation flashbacks of Dr. Bright.
Alright.
He's not very smart either.
You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. But the plan to launch went ahead in spite of the threat. But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? Yeah,
Cover it up.
I know. The decision to move forward, it wasn't exactly just, was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody just to keep it under wraps. That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. But it's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackwell as well. Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. Well, that's not it.
I think it's the other way around.
It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. The reason he's still prosecuting? Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know. Yeah, why is he still doing things? Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Well, never mind that. What are the rules about things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. I think we guessed that much. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering about it. So you weren't told why either, huh? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, it would have had to have. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years past continues even still. 7 years past? A Phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either, I gather. The Phantom? What the fuck? This Phantom of 7 years past. Any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seems to think that this Phantom is behind this whole incident somehow. Oh, wait a minute. He thinks they may have been connected to this case? Yep. This case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. And in both incidents, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why Prosecutor Blackwell thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom. Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago, that's when Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwell's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why he'd think that. This incident and the Phantom, not to mention Blackwell's past. It's almost inconceivable that they would come to head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackwell can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is the Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Not yet. Not quite ready yet. Hmm? No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom. But I do get the feeling that he thinks the defendant has ties onto them. Which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck. And that's not real justice. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwell's judgment until now. But this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry, that's exactly why... That's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackwell, but I'm going to be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me that you won't. Detective Fulbright.
I don't want to be dead yet.
I guess I was wrong about you. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You are the only ones who can stop him in the court. You really care and want what's best for Prosecutor Blackwell, don't you, Detective? Now leave the courtroom to us. It's not like we want guilty verdict either. I was hoping you would say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Then let's go and find him, Mr. Wright. Well, thanks to you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find a perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust. On 3, 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later.
Okay, bye.
And there he goes. Wait, were we supposed to say "In justice we trust" back there too? Let's go see that witness now. All right, Space Center entrance it is. Oh, reminds me when Gumshoe started to help us. The witness must be around here somewhere. Oh, a boy now? Hello. Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. Hello, come over here. Hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... Kalonko. Shall I guide you? Oh, I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out. Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around. Oh, here she is.
Aww.
Again. I've had it with you, hunk of junk. Ah! I'm outside. Am I wandering? Oh, when did that happen? Okay, welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was going to put you on a curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5 degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackquill. Who?
Huh.
I'm a researcher developing robots who are here at the Cosmos Space Center. Blackquill? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunker Junk. My name isn't Hunker Junk, my name is Kolonko. That's me, Miss Aura. Quit complaining, your model number is Ponko 2. Yeah, but Miss Aura, everyone calls me Kolonko. Quit your squawking already. No, what are you doing? No, don't. Jesus. Robot abuse? There, I bet you won't be talking back now. Yeah, I will obey completely. Yikes, I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Jesus Christ. Your name is Blackquill. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? You are correct. Simon Blackquill, who used to be who used to be the prosecutor, is... Shut up! Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Wait, really? How fucking old are you? 37. Oh wow, fuck me. Yes, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? What the fuck? What a dull creature. Has our switch been turned off? Athena being shy? Oh, this is new. Oh, yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, Hunker Junk? Ah, Miss Aura, that hurts! I'm asking you a question. Why didn't you answer me, useless Hunker Junk? But Miss Aura, you tell me to only speak when you order me to speak. I told you never to talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks. Blackquill family life must be sure be interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do. You're a lawyer. I'm not like I'm one of Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. Jesus Christ. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. An explosion disabled the elevators. So I light my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? I know, right, Dragon? Fucking robots getting smacked and everything. It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge one window, on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And, well, that's about it. So, you saw the crime as it happened? And that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So you saw into the 3rd floor lounge? That? The very scene of the crime? Well, that's right. There's a small window on the right hand on the side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. And a knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor. Then, and there was only that in that tiny window. I see. But did you witness the moment of the murder? Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife and... It happened at precisely 10 AM. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you, it was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a Earth emblem. They had a good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An Earth emblem on that lighter. I better remember that. Well, thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me. Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers. That's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. I don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. What's going on? Why do you hate lawyers so much? The little thing from our past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie. They're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey, you! Look alive there! Ah, yes, here I go! I am an ultimate robot with amazing I can operate and make seems like we robots rule the world. Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away. Huh? What was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans, with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about. That's what makes us human. Well, that girl finally talks, and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human? You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought, that's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with a people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system, So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system? What in the world happened to this woman and to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial, because I'd much rather kill them myself.
Well, that's also illegal.
You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck? Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star of the witness in the court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos? Yes, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What? That's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunger junk. Sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you right, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. She's been trying not to let it show all this time. Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm sick of hearing about that. Well, all we could do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah. You're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Oh, good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then. Next stop, the detention center. Guessing we got some kind of hint of what's up. Yeah, we're gonna have a weird trial.
Oh, yeah.
My lawyers are here. It must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily.
Yeah, now he's depressed again.
We found a new witness. Researchers saw the moment of murder through a lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me out? Let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. The stars never aligned just right too. But we got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh! Did you remember something? Yep, I sure did. Just a little bit though. Anything that at all would be help. So please tell us what you remembered. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw a flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Oh, good, good. What else do you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge. So it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow. That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Well, thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'd be cleared of all suspicion. The key would be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now. And that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Irrelevant evidence tidied up. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. Oh boy. So you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this first person is. Let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldon's noodles. Oh, Apollo. What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option, and not for me. Apollo, what? You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? Hey, Rocky! It's nice to see you again. Where's Nubs? A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. I think we must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I'm fully intent to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy. And he had a really loud voice. If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd be break a few windows. You know, I bet you're right. Seems like only yesterday. Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut and me, a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night. And even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket.
That was his.
Oh, yeah, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to a member of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, oh god. Damn it, it's not fair! Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. Guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. Guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me. But Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he said. You say, don't give up. It was just during his screening exams too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mum passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Mum. Get away, Apollo, don't come over here. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Huh? So he still had that bandage on his nose when he was a kid. I always think everybody has a mum, else has a mum. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine. And then, you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay turn is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine! And what are you laughing about? See? You were fine. You laughed first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Aww. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. No, that's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in my fear, I never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor. I looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth? Oh, that's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I'll follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life. In my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now I must be going. Goodbye. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. Oh, he's not walking out on us like this. I'm going to talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth will arrive at should be the same. I think we're quicker to solve this case. The better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow trial, okay? If you were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. Wow. Just to let you know, this is part 1.
Yep.
Part 2 is going to be a fucking doozy. But, yeah, part 1 is mainly trying to get Starbuck's innocence, and part 2 is when everything will come into place. Everything's going to get solved. But, yeah, this is technically a sort of a subplot with the Phantom bit until part 2, and that's when it's the main bit. But anyways, I hope you do enjoy it. I will say tomorrow, I'm not too sure if I will be streaming because it's Mother's Day in the UK anyway. Tomorrow. So I'm not sure because I'll be going out with it to dinner. At 6:30.
We'll keep you posted.
At 6:30, so I'm not too sure if I will be on time. Maybe a bit later.
We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So just be sure to just check on my Discord chat. Whatever, if I say that will be either on time, maybe late, or it would just happen on Monday. So, hope to see you all for hopefully tomorrow. If not, then Monday. Bye bye for now.